Hey, it's Prince of Queens, and I happened upon this delightful, unlisted video that had less than 50 views. Let's take a look. Oh boy, this is gonna be a blast. They are celebrating the birthday of hashtag #ShoutYourAbortion, which I guess was created last year at this time. I imagine that there are a few pro-life people that considers celebrating this as a birthday to be a tad tasteless, considering they'll see it as a birthday celebration of babies' deaths. But the thing is, I am fairly positive that these feminists actually know that. They knew it when they were planning the event. I'm actually pro-choice and know many of these types of feminists, and they are male tears drinking, male suicide ignoring, nasty fourth wave feminists who want to piss people off. And of course, this activist event took place in Seattle, which I have already made a video about the horrors of the activism that comes from that place. So this should be no surprise.
Did you hear that the world is ending? Right here, right where we stand. At least no one's pretending like that would even be bad. Oh, made it through the winter. Oh, summer too long. I wouldn't live anywhere else, but don't say you weren't born.
As you can see, it seems to mostly be an excuse for a big party. Now, before I learned the term regressive leftist or SJW, I frequently referred to these types of people as cocky leftists. It's like they think they're incapable of losing any argument and they just get to say neener neener to anybody with a slightly dissenting viewpoint about anything. They're like, we're feminists and we're winning. We hate you, but we don't care because you can't even vote. They think nothing can stop them and they can just say whatever they want and eventually march down to Washington, D.C. from Seattle and change the laws there that way. Here, check out their hubris.
The only way we make political change happen is through a grassroots movement.
We cannot have trickle-down reproductive justice. It does not work.
The patriarchy squirms when we unfasten the corset of our condition so as not to live our lives forever shallow-breathed and gasping.
We will take the political revolution with Shout Your Abortion and everything else we are trying to do to the United States Congress, all of us together.
Okay, what's going to happen if Trump wins? The election hasn't even happened, Trump is anti-abortion, and I am fairly certain that pro-life people can vote. And if you want these people to come out and vote, this will be a good excuse to get them off their asses. Should abortion be safe and legal? In my opinion, absolutely. Should abortion be a substitute for birth control? I'm thinking that should probably be avoided, but that's basically what this viral hashtag sounds like. Now, the next line is something that I actually slightly agree with to a certain degree, and I want to point that out.
We must remember that the struggle against abortion is first and foremost class warfare against the underprivileged.
She makes a slightly valid point, which is that poor women and women in poorer cities often don't have access to abortion and birth control. And if you want to be a conspiracy theorist, you could claim that corporations and the 1% benefit from keeping people poor by having to feed and support babies they weren't prepared for by outlawing abortion. But you see, here is the problem, which is that these are Seattle activists, and Seattle is a rich-ass city. The event is a celebration of bragging about the past abortions from seemingly upper middle class women who were fortunate enough to live in a place where abortions were legal at the time in which they had them. But doesn't anybody else think that this hubris about it might screw things up for women in Oklahoma or Georgia or whatever place that it is still really a struggle to get an abortion in? Even in case of an emergency, in some places you cannot get an abortion if you're the victim of a rape or if your baby is known to have a deformity. The people that get talked about, like the Bible thumpers that allegedly shoot up clinics all the time in the South, I don't know how much that really happens. They probably have little contact with Seattle feminists normally, but I bet they know all about this purposefully catchy, arguably horribly offensive, but undeniably shock value driven viral hashtag. I'm sure pro-life people have heard all about it, as did the rest of moderate and swing voters in America. Sure, the moderates might not want to side with Trump, but if these are the feminists promoting Hillary Clinton, they probably won't want to side with them either. And who created this hashtag? World famous career feminist Lindy West and some woman named Amelia Bono and another one named Kimberly Morrison. I'll ignore the other two because I don't know what they look like and I don't want this video to be too long, but I want to focus on the following statement from the relative bigwig. Next on the mic is Lindy West, who got paid to publish this pro-Clinton article on The Guardian UK in April of last year, immediately after Hillary Clinton had announced her candidacy. And yes, it's basically void of any policy issues and entirely about how good it will be to have a female president finally. And I know what your jokes are going to be, but the woman on the stage is in fact Lindy West and not Trigglypuff with bleached hair. And please don't make too much fun of her because she'll send her minions after me if you body shame her. Let's listen to Lindy's thoughts on the hashtag that she invented and was the main force in popularizing.
I see no difference between a culture that tells people that you're not a human unless you conform to an arbitrary number on a scale. A country that tells every human being with a uterus that what grows in their body is up for public debate. And a regime that tells black people it's their place to be murdered in the street by agents of the state. And I don't fucking do that anymore. And Shout Your Abortion is a crystallization of that defiance.
Okay, wait, sorry. Did you follow that? Just in case you are new to viewing the world through problem glasses and blaming the patriarchy for everything, try to follow that train of thought again.
I see no difference between a culture that tells people that you're not a human unless you conform to an arbitrary number on a scale. A country that tells every human being with a uterus that what grows in their body is up for public debate. And a regime that tells black people it's their place to be murdered in the street by agents of the state. And I don't fucking do that anymore. And Shout Your Abortion is a crystallization of that defiance.
So, okay, what she is not just saying is that abortion is entirely 100% related to fat phobia in culture. It's also related to Black Lives Matter, and that the hashtag she invented, this Shout Your Abortion hashtag, is the... Wait, what? What is it again, Lindy?
Shout Your Abortion is a crystallization of that defiance. Crystallization of that defiance.
Crystallization of all of these things. Yep, well that is not the least bit megalomaniacal, now is it? No ego involved in that statement about your own viral hashtag. Apparently fat acceptance, reproductive rights, and black people no longer being shot by police is best crystallized into hashtag Shout Your Abortion. I honestly didn't realize how important the hashtag wars really were, but now I understand how incredibly powerful bragging about something most women I know legitimately are triggered by thinking about. I understand how bragging about this triggering thing is really, really important. Because Lindy West is also a big proponent of trigger warnings, but I bet it must be really, really, really important if she wants to shout it all over Twitter all the time. So yeah, that's why it was her brainchild. Regardless, now that we have her explanation, all of this makes much more sense. This isn't about abortion like it sounds, not just about abortion. Rather, it is about the entire fourth wave intersectional feminist ideology that sees all these things, or all things period, wrong in the world as coming from the mystical force of patriarchy. You see, feminism is already so close to being a religion, but the problem is that they don't have an orthodoxy or a god. But maybe now they will. They certainly have a devil, which is the patriarchy, but they need a Jesus. Maybe hashtag Shout Your Abortion, being the crystallization of all three body positivity, reproductive rights, and Black Lives Matter all rolled into one, can be like fourth wave intersectional feminist Jesus. You see, Jesus lives on the internet in hashtag form. Shout Your Abortion, you will deliver us to the promised land. Thanks, Lindy. I knew you didn't come up with that as a cheap and easy way to get more D-list famous. You knew what was best for humanity all along. All right, that's the end of this video. Like and subscribe if you want more. Thanks.